Hello, intro to game studies class. For my today's game journal, I wanted to do the game Deadlock, which it is an early development build. It is also a closed alpha, so you're only able to play it through like an invite on Steam if someone who does play the game has it, like one of your friends per se. But basically, Deadlock is under the genre of
Soon, I'll be
a MOBA,
York.
multi-online player battle arena, which is under the same which other games under the same genre are like League of Legends. But personally, I think this game is a lot better of a game than League of Legends. One, simply because it is a Valve game, and Valve is known as like one of the greatest developers, at least in my personal opinion. I think they're one of the best developers. But there are a couple aspects of this game that I do want to touch on that I think work really well. For one instance, the aesthetic of it is based in 1950s New York, where everything is like an occult theme. Like, see, look at this computer over here. It's like, it looks like a confession booth, and it's like older, and it also has like a pentacle spinning around as like the kind of coolant fan, which I think that's pretty sick. But basically, the lore behind this game, before you even play, there was like a huge spiritual awakening of sorts in New York, or like actually in the entire world, and it basically connected the real world and the spirit world together, which that's pretty awesome. And it was through an event called the First Maelstrom, which that's how we got some characters in the cast. Like, that's how we got Abrams, Apollo, who else? Vindicta. Vindicta is actually a very interesting character to me because she is a victim of the Salem witch trials, and basically through the First Maelstrom, she came back and she's seeking revenge on an actual real historical figure who persecuted people in Salem, John Haythorne, because his descendants made up this like kind of organization that's very similar to white supremacy, I would say. And so she's basically systematically murdering his descendants. That's awesome. And she carries a sniper. But my favorite character to play in this game,
The city
Mina.
could use some new blood.
She is really fun. It's because she has really good movement, but she's not the one with the best movement in this game. The best one with the one with the best movement in this game, base movement, is Celeste. She's a really good character to play if you're really good at movement, which I think there's a lot of aspects, like I said, that work really well with this game. For one, building items, it's pretty easy to understand because you get a build browser. You get to look up these builds and try them out and see how they work for you, which that's one thing they do better than League of Legends. You don't really get that option in League of Legends. You kind of just have to like look it up and be like, oh, okay. But this, it's built into the game. You don't have to like do anything to like find it. You don't have to go on a website while you're trying to play the game, which can be really annoying because whenever I tab out of games like this that are full windowed, the screen goes completely dark and like I can't see anything on my second monitor. So like I can't see if I'm like, you know, in trouble or if I'm like trying to take a quick look at a build. Another thing that works really well with this game is the movement. Since it is a source game, with Valve, like with other games, when you're moving left to right, it's like instantaneous, like you don't really have an acceleration. With Deadlock, it actually does have an acceleration. So like you see how I like start off slow, like I don't just like go like quickly back and forth, like I kind of like stagger just a little bit. That's one thing I really like. The movement is also pretty dynamic. There's like a lot of movement text, which I will go to explore NYC real quick just so you can see. Not Street Brawl, because if I get into a Street Brawl, I probably will not have a great time trying to talk and play the game. But let me actually just put a few movement items on real quick, because movement is very important in this game, especially on Mina. But
This is my favorite.
the movement in this game is actually really fun. There's like different texts you can learn. One of my personal favorites has to actually do with some of the fans, which there's like vent fans everywhere. There's one right here. They basically just propel you in the direction, which they can be a help and a hazard, especially if you're getting chased, because you can get stunned off of them if you get shot. But this is like one of my favorites, just to go over here. Yeah, the movement is pretty fun in this game. It is a little challenging to learn, especially if you've never played like a Valve game before, which I think the only other Valve game I've played is Team Fortress 2. But yeah, that's one really fun aspect of it that I think works really well. But when I'm playing the game, I do tend to feel a little bit anxious just because I want to make sure I'm playing right, because MOBAs are very comprehensive. They can be very difficult for people who've never played MOBAs. There's like a lot to learn about MOBAs, like positioning, map awareness, like when to go help your teammates on the other side of the map, etc., etc. That's not one thing I 100% excel on, so like I'm kind of lower elo in this game, which I'm not ashamed of it. It's just like I would like to get better at this game because it's really fun, and it's still in early development, so like I've got time. I've got time to learn it until like the full release of this game, which there is like evidence of this game. As you can see, Viper, her model's very old and outdated. It's from when they
The
were
enemy could
first
be
going with like a
anywhere.
futuristic aesthetic. Same with Yamato. Yamato looks very out of place. She's also got a very big forehead. Sinclair's also an older model. Who else is Calico? Calico really needs an updated model, I think. But um honestly, with this game, counterplay is on it, like compared to League of Legends, counterplay is not hard to learn in this game at all. It's literally just buying the items that work opposite. You don't have to do as much reading. Like it's like I think it's just simpler to learn than in League when everything's like on a smaller scale. Like visually, League is much more of like a smaller game. Sorry, my cat is jumping everywhere, and I'm making sure she's not breaking anything. Um. Okay. Anyways, um, League is on a much smaller scale, so it's harder to see like what your items do 100% of the time. But with this game, you can see what your items do. Like, there's some active ones. I can spawn a dummy somewhere. That's actually what I'm gonna do. I don't want to spawn fitness, or I don't want to spawn that has absolutely been grinding my gears lately. Lash, I don't have a problem with.
We all got weaknesses, but mercy ain't one of mine.
Basically, very obvious what that item does, but it also has like a bonus thing. Like if a character's in air, it stuns them for a longer duration, which that's very effective on characters like Mina, Vindicta, and Celeste, because they're constantly in the air. Because, like, especially Mina, because she can move like this. Her one, like, you see in the lower left part, it has a passive. Like, if you ADS while you're in the air, it'll let her float, which kind of is a nod to Mary Poppins. Which that's why a lot of people don't like going against her. Not only that, Mina is a very like mobile not only is Mina a very mobile character, she's also very like, oh, if you get into a 1v1 with a very fed Mina, you're gonna lose. Because she's actually an insane character to play. Which that's why I like her. She's very fun. Not only that, there's a status effect in this game called Silence, which is very similar to League, where basically, it if someone gets hit by her ult, because it has stacks. You can build stacks with her passive, which are called rough bites. It procs like on the health bar up there, and I can't proc it again until it's gone, like that. So now I have 4 stacks. I could literally just ult this drifter, and he's silenced. Can't use any of his abilities, can't do any of that, which is very interesting. Let me check though and see if there's anything else. Don't mind me, I'm checking real quick if there's anything else I need to touch on. Um, oh yeah, but There was one thing I was gonna say. Oh yeah. Other than like the way I feel about this game, sometimes I do kind of tend to get angry at this game, especially if it's not going my way, and especially like teammates on this game can be very questionable. You'll run into some very questionable people who have very questionable sense of humor and what they result to saying whenever things are not going their way. It can get very ugly very quickly. But another thing I wanted to talk about is like its distribution system, like its distribution marketing, which you don't have to pay for the game because it's a closed alpha. It's very interesting how they're distributing it because it's a closed alpha. You have to get it through someone else. And that makes me wonder, like, I think this game has been in development since, actually for quite a while. I think the first alpha released in August of 2024, so it's been out for a while. But that makes me think, like, what kind of insider view did they do for people? Like, did they like just be like, hey, if we're testing out a new game, so if you want to give us your email or like your Steam account, we will email you a code so you can try it out. And then they're like, you can only let people play by sending out a code. Which that's what makes me think how they did it. But also, one other thing about this game, it looks way different than it used to. This game, it used to have 4 lanes instead of 3. And it was not, like, dark out. It was actually bright. It was, like, a bright, sunny day. And I'm honestly glad they made the change to what it is now. Because it looks 100% better, in my opinion. Yeah, but I just need to yeah, some of the visuals in this game are actually, like, insane. Like, not only is the gameplay addicting, but the visuals are also addicting. Like, this is a patron. His name is the Hidden King. The goal is, like, as any other MOBA, you know, kill the spawn objective. And the spawn objectives are these, like, eldritch gods. Which is very cool. The other one is the Archmother. I would go into that base, but I can't spawn in there without, like, taking damage. And I don't really want to do that. So, here's the Hidden King. One thing I really love about this is how it kind of, like, the architectural style looks like a very, like, punk gothic look to it. Because it is a very punk look. Like, it's very music-based. Lots of music. And it's also, I think they have a pun right here. Like, with this, it's heavy metal. But yeah, there's a lot of aspects that work really well with the game. The design aesthetic, the items and how they work, the character design. Although there are, like, characters I do have gripes with, like Graves. I love her design. I like to play her sometimes, but she's really annoying to go against because of one of her abilities. Another character I don't really like going against, Bebop. Bebop players are very aggressive, and they will grab you at any point because he has a hook. Silver also can be pretty annoying, but she did get a nerf, so hopefully I won't have to deal with that a whole lot. Who else? A really good pocket player is really annoying. Paige is okay. Paradox is okay. Kelvin, I just don't like his design at all because he can slow you down. It's like old May from Overwatch, basically, a little bit. Except he doesn't freeze you in place, he slows you down, like, a whole lot. I just hate a lot of characters that can do really quick damage, just because Mina, she may be able to do, like, a lot of damage very quickly, but she is a very squishy character. She has one of the lowest base healths in the game. She's not tanky at all. She's a glass cannon. But yeah, this game is pretty fun. I do have an invite code for anyone who is willing to check this out, who is familiar with MOBAs. If it's not your thing, don't worry about it. But I only have one, so anyone in this class who's interested, I would love to give you an invite code, because this game is pretty fun. It is a very big learning curve, especially with the movement, but literally just watch videos. Watch videos of people playing this game, of a character you might be interested in playing. And that's basically what I do. I'll do like just a little showcase of what I know about the movement so far. There's one particular movement tech that I like doing. I can't really get the timing down on. One movement tech that confuses me is like edge boosting. Or not edge boosting, corner boosting. It's that right there. What you just saw, me jumping off that like fence. This would probably be me doing the movement showcasing this game would probably be a lot easier if I was on Celeste or something.
I'm on my own out here. I need to be careful.
Celeste is the only character that can bunny hop in this game. She has like more control in air, like more control over her air movement.
The king shall give.
Strafing is also like a very important aspect of this game, because you tend to get more distance strafing than just like, you know, holding W. Yeah, that's pretty much it, and I appreciate you guys watching this and maybe responding. It's up to y'all.